Fuck it, we'll do it live.
What was that from?
It was an anchor. They were about to shoot, and they were telling him like they're going, and he's like, and he said, "Fuck it, we'll do it live," and he throws away his script, and
That's where that comes from?
yeah.
All right. I've only heard that like said, but never looked up the origin of that.
Oh yeah, it's I mean it's kind of funny. It's just like it's a real quick thing.
News anchor bloopers are hilarious sometimes.
Yes, especially when they say shit that they shouldn't say,
Like,
or not that they shouldn't say, but they say it the Freudian slip.
yeah.
Like yeah.
I think one of my favorite was like there's like this dude out in like the country or whatever, and this book like flies into his mouth, and you hear him go. He's like, these country ass bugs. He's like, I'm tired of this shit.
I like the one where the he's filming out. I don't know if it's by a school. He's standing by a fence and he hears gunshots and he's like, "Oh hell no, let's get the fuck out of here." Those are my favorite. When they just instantly react.
There you go, just going off script. But I feel like that's got to be hard. Like, given like how news anchors like speak, there's such like a very consistent cadence to the way that they talk.
Yeah.
That it's got to be hard to maintain that the entire time.
Want to hear something funny?
Let's hear it.
News anchors have a news voice and a speaking voice.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I knew this going into one of the shoots that I did, but it was just so funny to hear, like, I won't say the anchor, but it was so funny to hear him talk to us because, you know, we're the crew and we're setting everything up. And it's a very, like, you-me conversation. And then as soon as he gets in front of the mic or as soon as he gets in front of the camera and, you know, they go 3, 2, 1, it's like, "Good morning from blah, 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 blah. This is blah, blah, blah." And you're just like, that's not what you sound like, you
don't
piece
sound
of
like
shit.
Right. I always wonder, like, why you good over there?
I'm trying to adjust my ass.
I always wonder, like, why do certain professions kind of have like a natural, like they fall into the same like speaking mannerisms,
Like the weird, like the business voice, right?
Yeah. There's like business voice, like, but like anchors have,
I have
like
one too, man. I have one too. When I talk to people on the phone for like pools, immediately I change to like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah. Oh, well, for sure, right? Like I was watching this video and it was that Abba and Preach, and they were talking about like code switching, right? And I think we've talked about this before, but they were talking about it in relation to how like everybody does that, and that he was like, everybody does that. And everybody will do that in different situations. Like the way that you talk to your friends, the way that you talk to your girlfriend, your parents, your grandparents, all different. As well as like you're about to go into like a board meeting.
Oh, yeah.
You're having a different conversation. Like you're on the phone with like a client, different conversation. And just like the words that you use, the cadence at which you speak, all of those things start to change. And I just found that like that thing so interesting.
It's really cool. It's cool. It's unique to you, but it's also the same thing that everybody else does. So
everybody does it.
Yeah, it's just funny it's funny to see the same person in, say, 3 different fields of conversation and how they just talk differently in each one.
Yep, Marissa was talking. She always laughs whenever I hop on the phone, like if a client calls me or the business line rings. Because she was like, she's like, I don't know how you'd but switch it on so fast.
Yeah.
And there's like my laugh changes than just obviously, the way that I speak, because I'm going to speak a little more professionally to my clients.
You can't say fuck, so.
Some of them I can. Not all. It's very rare, but I generally work with an older population for the most part. So there's a level of vulgarity that I keep to a minimum.
Yeah, that's very much the truth. I definitely have it when I get my phone calls. I take a deep breath and I go, "Hi, this is Eric with Pool Icons."
Hi.
Yeah, fucking change of energy, change of everything. But you have to, right? You're selling something. So.
Yeah, it's like servers, right?
Yeah.
You get like a server voice.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Though, were you ever a server?
I was not, but my sister was, so I know all about it.
It's so interesting. Like how you just kind of fall in step.
Yeah.
It's always fun to like when I used to serve at a steakhouse.
Yeah.
And there was definitely moments and times where I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like normal voice would come out and just watch my tips suffer.
Yeah.
Because there's like almost like this expectation for this like overtly friendliness.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite movies that depicts that is Waiting.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's a perfect depiction.
I wish I would have worked at, I don't know if it's out here, but there's this place called Dick's Last Resort in Chicago.
Yeah. So there's a Dick's in Vegas.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they're just
assholes.
They're just mean to you.
I love that place. I love that place so much. And then like you try to play along and try to be a dick back, and they top you. Like you could be the biggest asshole, and they'll make you feel like shit because they have better things to say.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, man, that's
they're the
impressive.
experts in shit talking.
Yeah. I'm like, that's impressive. Like you should get a degree.
I remember I went with a friend for his birthday at one point, and one of the dudes got butthurt when we were there. And it was so funny because he got so salty like right away, and like they clearly did not give a shit.
Yeah.
And so the entire time they were just going in on him.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much to the point where they left us alone.
Yeah.
Everybody else at the table, it was like 10 of us, and they just picked on one guy. And it wasn't like our server. Then they started telling like other servers. And so other servers were coming up and just like,
did they give him the
just
hat?
making shit. Oh, I mean, we all got hats.
Oh, but like typically that one person who they're picking on gets a hat and they write like shithead or like pick on this one. Like,
yeah. No, we all got those big stupid hats.
Oh man.
But like other servers were just coming up, calling him by name and making fun of him.
Word.
And it was constant. Like no letting up the entire time that we were there. And
Here's
it
your
was
food, douchebag.
Oh my God. It was the best. It was so good.
Hey, but their food is good too. So
their food was pretty good. I mean, it's very gimmicky, but it was good.
Yeah.
And so then when we would like leave, like, you know, go to the bathroom or something,
Yeah.
and I would find we were finding the server and giving them different stuff to like throw at this
you're
dude.
an asshole.
Well, because he knew what he was getting himself into.
Oh,
And he, for
man.
whatever reason, decided to get all butthurt and salty about it. Like, you better believe.
They even have a warning before you even like when you walk up to the podium to put your name in. They have like that warning there. It says like our servers don't give a shit. Like this is what they're here for. If you are coming to sit down here, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like there is that blunt warning. If you walk through those doors, you're fair game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome. I mean, it ended up being hilarious for everybody but this one guy because he was like, at one point, he just stopped talking.
Oh,
so he was done.
Yeah. I don't think the 2 times that I've gone, I don't think anyone at our party was trying to mouth back. We took it and we enjoyed it and we laughed it. And so like I think every time it was like 6 or 4 of us, everybody got around.
No, naturally.
Yeah. And I think at the next table, someone tried to be a dick back, and the same thing happened. It was just a bombardment.
Yeah,
and it was just like, like we got to enjoy it. And
it's so good.
You know what's worse too, or well, it's funny, but it's worse. It's like you pay the server a compliment for their joke, like at another person, and they come back and they fucking diss you, and you're like, wait a minute, I was just trying to be nice.
I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Well, it's like people at like a stand-up comedy show trying to like yell a joke out to the comic.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's like you're in their domain and you're in their world right now, and there is nothing or very, very unlikely that you're going to say anything that's going to top them or something that they can't come back with better.
Right.
Because that is their job. And that's like, I feel like that's the exact same thing at Dick's Last Resort where people try to be snarky. They're like, I'm funny.
Yeah.
Right. They're like, I'm the funny one that is in my friend group so I can top them or something like that. It's like, you can't.
No.
You're wasting your time.
You pay them to be an asshole.
Yeah.
To you.
And what do you think they do all day? Like they be dicks all day. Hence, surprise.
Hence the name.
Hey. But they're dicks all day. So they just have the practice.
Yeah.
Like you having casual banter with your friends in in the garage is not the same.
Nothing. They are savage.
Yeah, it was so good.
And if you have friends like Ryan who feed them extra information,
you better believe
they get personal.
You better believe. It was so good.
Oh, man.
The
I'm not going there with you.
the lady with us got an awesome tip.
And oh man, they're all savage. So, I don't think I could work there because there'd be a point where I feel like I'd break somebody and I'd feel bad.
Yeah.
And I know I can't, like, you're not supposed to feel bad working there, but I'd be like, oh man, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, I think my issue would be, I feel like it would take me a long time to figure out what the line is to cross, right? Like, obviously, you know, stay away from like sexual things and like racial things.
Racial maybe, but sexual, no, you can go there.
To a certain degree. But like, I feel, so like, obviously, you know, the main things you're probably not going to cover, right?
Yeah.
Or like political things or religious things,
yeah.
you know? But I feel like I would somehow manage to make it personal on accident, being like, haha, I'm funny because I've noticed a quirk about you that I'm going to drill into.
Yeah. And it's probably one of their insecurities.
It's going to be like offensive almost.
Hammering it home. Man.
I think that would be my issue.
Yeah. If we work together there, I think that'd be fun.
Just tag team it.
Oh God.
I feel like that'd be a good time. That's my only. I think like my problem though is that's really high energy.
Yeah. You got to have that for your whole shift.
I don't know if I can do that for that long.
I feel like for us at some point it would get boring to just insult people all day.
Yeah.
Although I say that now, and who knows, we could probably put up with it for a couple weeks, maybe a couple months.
Yeah, I feel like if I was like maybe like a once a week shifter type of thing.
Yeah.
I might be able to muster up the like
just build up all your anger and
just
frustration
all of my hate into the customers.
Oh man, like that's what you look forward to on Friday. Like, I'm going to work on Friday. I'm gonna fucking make people cry.
My boss pissing me off over at my real job.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take it out on all of these unsuspecting customers.
You look like my boss.
Well,
my boss is a piece of shit.
While they're trying to eat their nachos and burgers casually on the lakefront.
Oh man. Is that where Dick's is, on the lakefront in Chicago?
I think it's like right over the lake.
Fuck, I gotta go.
I don't remember. I don't actually remember where it is. I've only been there once, and it's not an area that I ever really drove through. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I shouldn't. I feel like I should know this, but whatever.
I won't pop quiz you, but
pop quiz. Give me the cross streets.
The one in Vegas is.
Is it?
Yeah.
The one time I was in Vegas, that's where I stayed.
It was right downstairs from you.
I didn't know it.
That and what the fuck do they have there? The tournament? Yeah, it's like Excalibur, or not sorry. It's like a
Renaissance fair style thing?
It's kind of Renaissance fair. Like they do a dinner. It's a dinner and show where they have like 6 or 8 nights, and they're all by color, and each color is assigned a section in the arena.
Oh, are you're thinking of shit? What's it called?
Right, I'm trying to fucking figure out what it's called. I bet there's listeners right now going, "It's this, you morons! It's
I know.
this."
It's oh my god! You go get like knighted and stuff,
yes.
And they do like the tournament. There's the king queen.
Yes.
And you get like the big turkey leg.
Yes.
And like dragon scale soup.
Yes.
Yep, I remember everything about it except what it's called.
Yeah. What the fuck is it called?
No.
Tournament of.
No, it's not called tournament of something.
Oh god damn it!
It's
why are we struggling with this?
When you see it, when you got it, don't say it out loud.
Okay, I won't say it out loud. Oh, okay. So I have what it's called there. So, but I won't say it out loud.
It's something. Is it something different?
Hold on. I'm gonna look the one up here.
Medieval times.
Yes. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Were we still recording? Did you get that one on record?
I re-record. I clicked recording.
Nice. So yeah, Medieval Times is the one out here. The one in Vegas is called Tournament of Kings.
The knockoff.
But it's the exact same thing.
There's one out here that's pirates.
Yeah, it's right next to the Medieval Times.
Yeah, it's like across the street or something.
Yeah.
Someone told me about that, and I was like, "Oh, we gotta go."
Yeah, I actually was very interested in it as like a joke thing because I took David for his birthday a couple years back to
Medieval Times.
Medieval Times for his birthday because he's never been, and I was like, "Oh, dude, this would be fun." Like, we'll just go, have a couple beers, eat a big ass turkey leg. And
it's fun. It's stupid.
It's stupid. Yeah, you gotta go expecting it to be stupid, but just have fun. But then the next one we want to do is pirates. So
I want to go to that.
You're down for the pirates?
100%. 100%.
Let's go.
Let's go when Marissa gets back.
All right.
So that way she can also experience
Enjoy the pirates.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's gonna be rated R. Yes.
Is David dating anybody?
His hand.
Ooh, maybe we can get him some booty.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I could think of for other pirate related things.
I liked it.
Eric, what are we actually talking about today?
We are actually going to discuss today It's funny. So a friend of ours brought this up and thought we should discuss the.
But you have other friends?
I sometimes.
Damn it.
We should discuss loyalty in the gym aspect. Loyalty in or loyalty, dedication to a gym, to a coach, and also the nuances that arise from switching coaches, gyms, and the people or the hate that you get from doing so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of things to cover on that one.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
I want to start with the idea of being loyal to a facility.
Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I mean, we could either way. Yeah.
I think that is. I think loyalty to work to a job, right? Depending, right? Is it job or career type of thing.
Yeah.
But I think general loyalty is good to a point. So I think when it comes to work, a lot of people tend, especially gyms, right? People tend to switch real quick potentially and don't necessarily like see things out, right? If they're and largely I think that's because a lot of coaches don't necessarily take ownership in their role in building up like a community,
Right.
or be an active role of the community. So people tend to kind of just do they see it as a job? They see it as a 1 hour block of time,
Yeah.
and probably a free gym membership,
Yeah.
and that's kind of it. And I think they're like, this might be a tangent already. But I think a lot of that has to play into the way that most gyms operate, in that people get paid an hourly rate based off of the classes that they coach, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can't expect people to get too invested when they're getting paid. I've seen as low as $15 a class.
I'd fucking lose my mind if I was getting paid $15.
And I've seen as high as like 35.
Yeah.
And which isn't bad.
No.
Like 35 an hour is not a bad rate.
Right.
But you're
not living off that.
You're working 5 shifts a week.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bruh. So I feel like from the gym sense, from the top down, there becomes a loyalty issue. One, because people literally have to work more jobs,
right,
more often than not. And very rarely do I ever see gyms that actually have some sort of pay structure or some sort of setup that allows the coaches to make a semi decent living while also, or just a living off of that one place. And then on top of that, then looking at them being committed to seeing progress of the gym if they're not feeling welcomed, I guess, if they're not feeling like needed or
valued.
That's the word I wanted. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's one massive issue within the gym space at the specific. God, I'm having smelling burnt fart again, or burnt fart, burnt toast. That's what I meant. So I think that's one massive issue within the gym space, specifically CrossFit. And then the other part to it is I feel like people are too quick to switch and not necessarily giving things enough time to like start to pan out, get to know the members, whatever the case may be. So that way they feel like they build relationships within that is more than just the fact that everyone does CrossFit here and becoming like ingrained within the membership or the member base.
Right.
As an example, there's I remember talking to somebody and at a previous gym, and one of the coaches gave me, I remember asking like, hey, who is this person? And they gave me like name. I'm like, okay, what else about them? Like, I want to, I don't know them. And so I want to try and get to know them a little bit. So like, give me a little bit of insider scoop so I can kind of leverage it against, leverage it. And they couldn't tell me anything more. And I was like, how long has this person been a member here? And they're like, a couple years. I'm like, and you only know their name?
Yeah.
I'm like, I see them come to your classes
all the time,
all of the time. I'm like, how do you not know more about them?
Yeah.
So I might be like way off at this point, but
No, I think you're still spot on with it.
So I think, sometimes when if a coach, again, this is like a multi-tiered like issue going on in my brain. So the gym not paying well, the coach, maybe this is the trickle down here is like coach not getting paid well, so therefore they don't necessarily care all that much. They don't really care too much to get to know the member base because they're just really thinking about, I'm here for an hour and trying to think about either A, when they're going to work out next, or B, what their next job is.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of it's just that cycle.
Yeah.
And because they're not involved and then they're not getting paid, so they're just like, screw this, I'm going to go somewhere else. And I feel like that's kind of it. But I will also add, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but the only other thing that I'll add to that too is when it comes to this like kind of gym loyalty to a certain degree from a coach's side, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like if it's a place that you don't like, and it's not like your main source of revenue or income, then if you're not happy there, don't be there.
Yeah.
Because that will permeate through to the way that you coach classes, the way that you teach people, and people are going to recognize that. They're
Absolutely.
like, this guy doesn't care, or this
Absolutely.
lady doesn't care.
Yeah.
And people aren't going to necessarily want to take their class because of you. They're more so going to take it out of convenience because this is the time that I'm available to go to the gym.
Right.
And that sucks. So it's really like a lose-lose. It's a disservice to the gym, right? And, it's a disservice to the members who are looking to you as for guidance. And,
Absolutely.
And,
They're
hopefully a good day.
Yeah, they pay to be there regardless of how you are feeling. So if you're having a shitty day, you better leave that shit outside. Like, these people paid for that hour.
Yeah. And I think if anything, if loyalty means anything in this regard, it would be staying loyal to the craft of your profession or your job.
I agree.
And even if I worked at a previous gym that I stayed at for far too long, but I also I didn't have any other options or prospects at the moment. And so I kind of had to make the best of the bad situation.
Right.
And by that, what I did was turn that into trying to create the best experience that I could for any of the members that I was working with. Hopefully that came across and people appreciate it.
Yeah.
Which I think they did, because after me and a couple other people left, so began the mass exodus of members, because people were literally only staying there because of us.
Yeah.
So that leads to another topic, but I'll just say that, like, I should have left far sooner, because it was a terrible place for me to be. It was mentally and emotionally draining on a daily basis.
Yeah.
With having to deal with the owner.
For sure. I mean,
Tag out.
Yeah, you and I have had very similar instances or conflicts when it came to one, and I'm surprised that it's coming in last is management, right? Like, we talk about coach's value. You squirted yourself in the eye.
Oh, my eye.
Oh God.
Oh, it's not just regular water.
Oh God.
It's super water.
Oh God. There's so much alkaline in your eyeball now.
Salt.
That's worse than alkaline.
Worse. It's better.
Not for your eyeball.
Oh no, it's great for it's terrible for my eye.
Yeah,
That
I was gonna
hurts.
say, now you definitely don't have clear vision.
All right. Anyway,
yeah. So back to management, right? As a coach, you want to be in tune with your management. Like, you want to know what's going on. You want to know how to answer questions. You want to know, you should know what is coming up before your members do.
should is a good
Should,
word.
right? Should is a very important word when dealing with management. You should know before your members do what a schedule looks like, what is coming up, what events are happening, what a program cycle is entailing. You should know all that. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of talk that goes on between the top and the employees. And if you find yourself in that situation, make note of it. Let your management know, like, hey, I think we need to talk more. I think we need better communication. I think we need to discuss this, A, B, and C. It's important that we know before they know. That way, if any questions are brought up, we're not blindsided. There's value there. There's value in having an open relationship with your management team.
Ooh, open relationship.
Yeah, open.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really had to stifle that comment that I wanted to say.
There's blood coming out of your mouth. Your tongue, okay?
No. I'll pass out.
Oh man.
You're spot on, man.
Yeah.
Like I it's funny, we're talking coaches loyalty, but I heard this quote not too long forever ago, but it's that people don't quit jobs, people quit bosses.
Yes.
And I think that holds so abundantly true. It's not the word that I wanted, but it works.
Yeah.
In this case, when it comes to gyms, like it's got to be a top-down thing. And if the top sucks, like
The bottom falls. The bottom crumbles.
Yeah, it falls out. And I feel like it's only convenience that is keeping people, either convenience that's keeping people at a gym member-wise,
Yeah.
or it's because of the friendships, like community that
It's the loyalty the coach has to the members. Like a coach, like we're dealing with, like, convenience. A coach will keep the convenience of the loyalty to his or her members because they don't want to see them fail. They don't want to see them crumble, knowing what is going on above them and knowing how it'll trickle down. Almost like
Gotcha.
Almost like they're the last line
Of defense?
before shit just falls.
100%. I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
What I was meaning is that members will stay because of convenience, right? Because
okay.
we were kind of talking about how, the owner or management kind of affect the people on the floor,
Yeah.
right? The coaches.
Yeah.
And that then can affect potentially going into the members.
Yeah.
And what I meant was, like, most people aren't that stupid. And so they can sense when a coach doesn't care. And one of the reasons why people would stay is because it's convenient for them to be at that gym. It's close in proximity, for example, or that they've built friendships within, and that's, and again, convenience is a huge thing.
Right.
Until there's a tipping point.
Yeah.
And then people say, fuck it.
That's still the member side, right?
Yeah, from the member side, that is.
Let's side table that one, because I want to finish off with coaches, because I know we still have a lot to talk about with coaches, and then we have a lot more to talk about with membership too.
No, it was good. Sorry, I apologize for the diverge, because only because it was
it's
relatable.
It seemed
relevant.
It's definitely relevant in that loyalty, that convenient aspect of it, right? But
coaches.
Yeah, coaches, right? Back to coaches, but like as you and I were both saying, if you're not comfortable there, what's holding you there, right? You know your value. If you have experience, your experience, right? You can take that with you anywhere. And any good owner is going to realize that and say, hey, come work for me.
Yeah.
Like, I know your worth. I've seen you. I know you're known throughout the community. Come work for me. I'll take care of you. Right? Then you got to start the rebuilding process, right? Of learning and reverse earning that loyalty. So that new owner has to earn your loyalty.
Yeah.
Because you're scarred. You don't want to deal with that shit again.
Yeah.
So you got to go into this new facility, and the owner's got to know, I got to earn this guys, girls, loyalty, trust, like passion for coaching. Otherwise, it's just a repeatable cycle.
Yeah. It's the snake eating its tail type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, as far as coach loyalty goes, it's got to be, in my opinion, it's got to be earned from management. Management can't just say, I brought you on, I'm paying you, you got to do what I say. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's not how it works. Like, I hate being told, and I've been told, I can replace you. I can find 10 other coaches who want this job.
I mean,
my response is
not wrong.
My response is, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I want to see it. Do it. Find somebody who built this community and has kept this community. Find somebody. Good.
Have fun.
Do it.
That's true.
Yeah.
When I was leaving my old gym, and it was kind of I gave my 2 weeks, right? I gave more than that. I gave like a month.
You're nice.
Yeah. Well, and it ended up screwing me ultimately in the end for a lot of reasons that I'm not going to get into. But
Too nice.
There was a comment that was made that completely shifted my focus, because I was going talking about loyalty, right? Like I argue that I was me and not myself, but a couple other people were very integral in making the gym what it was, what it was.
Yeah.
And when I was leaving, the owner made a comment that he was so unnecessary, but said, "Well, we'll survive without Ryan." And there was another person that would like overheard that, and I was like, "The fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious right now?"
Yeah.
And my whole intention was like, I'm going to make sure that my people stay, that they're going to, I had a lot of training clients, and I was like, all right, these are who you're going to go with, blah, blah, blah. And my tune shifted like milliseconds after that was said to me. And I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell everybody to quit. I'm going to show them all how to quit. So that way they don't have to like accrue fees or cancellation rates and all this bullshit that was also associated with it. And I was like, I'm about to game the system for you, and made it happen. And I mean, I shit you not, like almost every single person that was a client of mine, either some of them stayed from like, say just some of the, I think maybe one or two of the personal training clients stayed. All of the people that were my like member clients out.
Yeah.
And I told them, I was like, fucking leave.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, here's some shit that was said to me. Like, I'm going to put a bad taste in your mouth for me and help and get you, and I'm going to find you another gym to go to.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't give them your money. Again, more reasons. There was other reasons to it, but just to piggyback off what you said, I was like,
yeah,
like, fuck you.
Yeah. No, there's a point where you're just like, I mean, you know my story, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a point where you're just like, fuck this place.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need that bullshit. I don't get paid to put up with that bullshit. I'm doing you a service and you're going to treat me like shit. Fuck out of here.
It's that level of entitlement.
Yeah.
That's like unpalatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is funny, right? Like it is one of those where it's like, you're replaceable. Yeah. Everybody's replaceable.
Yeah.
Like in reality.
Yeah.
Anybody can go and do not anybody, but most people can go and do a coach's job. Now, to what varying degrees of success is a different story.
Right.
Whether it's from general knowledge and application, like ability, and then also just personality wise, like some people just don't fit.
Yeah.
Like personalities just don't fit into the culture and the community that exists.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes you can't force that. Like you just don't vibe with everybody else, and that's it. Like
it's very much not my vibe, not my tribe. Right?
I love that.
Yeah, like
that's awesome.
It's that's something that I've held on to, is just like moving around and talking with people is like, look, like if I don't talk to you, there's a reason, right? Not my vibe, not my tribe, right? If I do talk to you, like there's levels to that too, right? Like if I talk to you and I'm like, proper and respectful, probably don't trust you. Just trying to get a feel. If I'm shitting on you and we're bantering back and forth, you're in my tribe. Like
we good, homie.
You got to know that you're in my tribe. Like that's just how it is, and it's different for everybody else, right?
For sure.
But it's same going back to gym culture is like, if you don't fit, like if people treat you, as a coach, if the members you're coaching treat you differently from all the other coaches that are there, it's most likely your vibe.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that your vibe is bad. It just doesn't fit with what's going on right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like anything, right? Like people just don't click, right? Sometimes. And I think jobs can be a very similar situation where like, I think within a gym, it's a little bit different because the social aspect is such a high priority in the hierarchy of things you need to be able to do.
Yeah.
And we're like, if you're working like an office job, being an accountant, like you could kind of not be liked or not have like work friends, for example,
right.
And the job can still be done with little to no issues.
Yeah.
So, you don't need necessarily personality to do that one well. You just need to be able to. You just need to know how to do your job.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, but like you're saying, like it is one of those where sometimes it's not necessarily you as a person from a coaching side. It could easily just be like, some people don't click. Like there's so many people that like I'm cordial with, but I'm like, I'm not your friend.
Yeah. Like we're not hanging out after this. Like,
yeah. Like, I'm not going to be a dick. Like I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Like I'll joke and have some fun like while we're in proximity, but like I'm not going to hit you up to hang out after this.
Right.
Right? Like you're a group friend, not like a one-on-one friend.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And you're probably the last person invited in the group.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Like someone's bringing them.
Or you were a +1.
Oh no. That's harsh, dude. Not a +1.
Hey, dude, I X +1s too. People ask me, "Can I bring so and so?" I'm like, "Nah."
No. Dude, there's people like that, man. They're just like energy vampires where like your presence puts me in a bad mood.
I have a lot of those.
And it's like
Which I avoid, but there's a lot. Like, I mean, that's why the list is short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I've never really had that where like a friend of mine or something has like another friend. I was like, don't bring them. I mean, maybe that might have been the case. I don't recall, but
maybe you're the friend.
I might be that friend, dude. I might be.
Not to me because I'll take you everywhere.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's a hard dude. I might be that person for a lot of people, and I'm to be totally honest because I know I can be hard to get along with because like if you don't, depending on the context of the situation, like. I'm not good. I'm not going to force it. Like I remember this one time I went out with, so Marissa was working for some company and they were doing like a work party. And I was like, yeah, sure. I'll go, like whatever. It'll be fun, I guess. But it was like this weird place downtown that was like a club, but not a club. It was kind of like a lounge bar.
Was it the electric room? Was it downstairs?
No.
Or the electric company?
No.
That place is fucking creepy. It's downstairs.
The electric company?
Yeah.
From the TV show?
I don't know if it's a TV show, but like it's like a bar lounge and it's dark and it's fucking weird. I thought that's where.
No, it was a nice place. I think it was called like the Lion's Den or something like that, or Lion Club, something like that. I don't know. But it was like the people that were there were like really into like I don't even know how to describe them. Almost like stereotypical. Like a stereotypical millennial almost, right? So they were all like forcing slang. So it just sounded like, yo, this party's pretty lit, isn't it? And I'm like, ugh, that doesn't roll off the tongue well for you, my dude. So there's like people like that. And I just like, and they were into like very much like streetwear.
Yeah.
Which again, nothing against any of these things, but like it's just not my jam.
Although I have one issue with Russell becoming streetwear as it was a fucking sweat company like when we were growing up. Just like
oh, yeah, that and like what was the other like Champion.
Yeah.
I've seen like a Champion Supreme crossover and I was like,
I'm
whoa.
just like, how did like my Russell and Champion sweatshirts go from $12 to $25 to like $50? I'm like, no.
When you're like, we're going to Kohl's, we're getting some sweatpants today, Champions, baby.
Yes.
You just got to cut the elastic on the ankles and you're good to go.
That's it.
But I just like, man, I could not force it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I have nothing in common with you guys, and I tried. Like I actively tried to just not be pissy the entire night.
Yeah.
But man, I couldn't because I was like, y'all are stupid. And so then but then this is where my issue, one of my many issues starts to lie, is I just started making shit up. So like every random person that I talk to, they're like, what do you do? I'm like, one person I told I was a trainer, and someone else I told that I was like a med student, and like somebody else I said that I was like an actor, right? Just like making shit up because I was like, I'm bored. Like these people aren't gonna I'm never gonna see them again.
I mean, so far you're 50% on those, so.
So I like just made up a bunch of shit just to pass the time because I was like, God, you all are boring.
Yeah. It's hard, man, to get into like to be in a group where you're just like you have nothing in common. So you're just like, well, all right, cool.
Yeah. Well, the hard part too that I normally find. So it is when I try, I feel like I normally do a pretty good job at like being cool with everybody and like have a sparking conversation. But the issue with this one was like, you got to meet me halfway somewhere, and not in the sense of like sensibilities, but I would ask questions, I would talk to them, and I would get minimal answers.
It's lit, bruh.
I mean, yes, but also, but it'd be like, oh, cool, like, where are you from?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm from here.
Oh, I fucking hate when people say that.
And you're like, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so
Cool.
like-
So you live in the bar?
yeah, I was like, so did you grow up? I'm like, where at? Like, I'm new here.
I hate when people say that, dude.
And they're like, oh, just like down the road.
I fucking hate. Where down the road?
But it was shit like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, now I'm trying to pull information.
Yeah.
I'm forced into this situation, right? Where now I have to pull information from them.
Yeah.
So that way I can try and make some sort of commonality that then we can talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But then whenever I even found that, which I almost always default to food because everybody likes food.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's the easiest one to kind of find some commonality. And eventually I get to a point where I was like, oh, it's cool. Like, that's an interesting area. Any good food spots over there? I've never been there. Yeah, there's a good burger place. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, end this conversation. Like, now sarcastic asshole me is about to pop out because I'm bored and struggling with this. And I
Yeah.
like do not have enough alcohol in me to like loosen me up.
Oh man, for sure. I think this is why we are really good friends. 'Cause that's the same thing I would have done. It's just like, all right, I'm over this fucking.
Dude, I
conversation.
can't fake it.
No, it's on our faces. Like
so readable.
if like so we try, right? So we're at level 1, the fucking smile is on. We get to level 2, the smile goes kind of like straight face, like not like
The closed mouth smile.
yeah, it's a closed mouth smile, and then by the third one, it's almost a frown, not like a sad frown, but like a I'm over this kind of frown, like
Yeah.
but it's readable. It's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
this is the dumbest conversation I've ever had.
It's and it ain't gonna be saved.
Yeah.
So, point being,
Point being,
sometimes coaches don't fit into the community of the gym, right? And again, that's not an attack on you, necessarily.
Right.
I mean, it could be.
It could be, yeah.
You could be just a piece of shit.
yeah,
Benefit of the doubt is that you just not clicking,
yeah.
but and leave, right? Like just go somewhere else. Like
We're-
there's a lot of gyms.
Were you a part of the previous place where there was one coach who tried to force their way in by trying to make changes and trying to change how things were run, but didn't run it by anybody?
No.
No. Oh man.
No, because there was a 4 of us, 4 myself included,
Yeah.
that were really the ones that like legitimately turned this place around.
Yeah.
To,
Sorry, not at your previous one, at our previous.
oh, like a coach or a member.
Yeah, coach.
I know who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I never had any experience with that.
So I tried to explain to this person, hey, this is kind of how things are set. I get you have your own input, right? However, you're new, so you kind of got to ease into it.
Yeah.
And this person did not want to ease. They wanted to force. And I got mass feedback saying, I don't like this person. They're trying too hard. They are changing the way things are done. They not belittle us, but they talk over us. They want to carry on a conversation versus coaching. I was just like, man, like, okay. So during a coaches meeting, I brought it to attention. It was received negatively.
Naturally.
At that point, I was like, I'm not stepping in anymore.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
My hands are free. I tried.
Yeah, there's a level of like you kind of gotta you're the new person, right?
Yeah.
You kind of have to like just be quiet a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
kind of take in the scenery, get people to know you, and then you can start making comments
Slowly.
And here's the thing: you can make. I feel like you can easily and quickly make comments to like staff,
Yes.
right? But keep that shit away from the members
Yes.
because
They will eat you alive.
well, there's that. They definitely will start smelling blood in the water.
Yes.
But more so is the shit. What was I about to say? Oh, but more so, members don't like change.
Yeah.
Like once you get into a groove at say our previous gym,
Yeah.
it's really hard to change the dynamics of it.
Yeah.
And one, everybody has to be involved and agree to it.
Yeah.
And for again, top down, but then it has to be gradual.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make a class change, you got to give a hell of a heads up.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna make a program change, give a heads up. It's gonna be shut down, you better give a heads up.
Yeah.
Like don't just Surprise, we're going to do a film, a shoot here.
Yeah.
And people are showing up because, they don't have, it's announced on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. Or like it's on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like that's a terrible way to run a goddamn business.
Imagine if there was a website though that gave you all the information.
If only.
Yeah.
But even then, like that's something that you need a heads up on, right? Like we did at my old gym when we made a huge change, right? And it was a massive change because it was all about the way the memberships were structured. So what once was, just regular membership, it turned into a, it slowly started to change, right? We started with the way that we were doing foundations used to be, it was classes, which was a nightmare. And then, it was 3 classes. Then it turned into, or we're doing some privates. Then it turned into, they have to start paying for these privates.
Jesus.
And then it turned into, effectively like a 10 session training package that you had to pay for. Now that sounds drastic, but largely it was one of the best things we could have done because it seriously raised the bar of the members as a whole, and especially new members coming into the gym.
Yeah.
As well. It just raised the bar so high and got people so ready to be able to come into training. Then we started to look at, okay, now we're changing our membership. So what once was just regular membership, now it started to include training into it. So all memberships had some form of personal training involved, and you were assigned a coach effectively, and there was like more communication, and like it was a slow ass gradual build over probably 8 to 10 months. That whole thing took place. And obviously, you're getting resistance the entire time, but it's little bits where people are like, I don't really know if I really like this. Hey, that's okay. You know what? This actually isn't going to affect you. Mm-hmm. It will eventually. So be prepared and just know that this is something that will show up.
Right.
Probably at the end of the year. Right. And it's like, you're like, all right, it's June. But make sure you take care of your base first. And then make some changes essentially when new people were coming in, right? And people got grandfathered in, and then eventually we started talking to them, and they started seeing progress, and we're like, hey, this is what we're doing. Why don't you join in? Yeah. Like, all right, cool. Start shifting everybody over. And it turned out fantastic.
Yeah.
But slow. So slow.
But like you were saying, right? Like that change needed to be slow because people are set in their ways. So it's gotta be gradual. You gotta turn the baby over slowly. Yeah. Don't shake the baby.
Yeah. It's a slow turn. Yeah. And it's also showing value.
Yeah.
Like it's also explaining, like, we're not doing this because we want more money or we're trying to get more money out of you. Like, you had to we at the same time we had to show why we're doing this. Explain why we're doing this.
Well, not only that, right? You brought up a good point of like beginner's class, having to pay for beginner's class. I actually think that's genius because you are now putting a value on what you're going to learn before heading into the lion's den.
Yeah.
But not only that, it makes the coach actually work or teach proper mechanics because it's like, hey, you're getting paid to do this. Do it right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want an athlete to come to me after your, in quotes, beginner's class, and I got to teach them everything.
Yeah.
I hate that more than anything. Like, and I can only be so upset because I don't have time to teach the beginners myself because Lord knows it'd be a boot camp. They would hate me, but all the technique would be down pat.
Yeah. Right. Or as good as you could possibly get it.
Right.
But that's like, imagine, right? Imagine you had 10 hours. Now, that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
But imagine you had 10 hours to be able to go through and progressively teach people aspects of movements, get them familiar with the terminology and the way that they go about, like just the way the gym operates. Mm-hmm. You start and like through these times, you start incorporating them into classes, right? Like, we had a schedule, right? Session 1, you do this. Session 2, you do this, right? And along that road, you're teaching people variations and say like, okay, you're not quite here yet. Do this to get you there. Mm-hmm. But whenever you come into a class, this is what you're going to do. And also, hey, Eric, you're crushing it. I'm coaching class on Tuesday at this time. Can you make it? Oh, yeah, you can? Perfect. I'm going to take care of you. Let's get you into the community.
Yeah.
right? Like the slow integration, right?
Yeah.
People show up and I'm like, hey, everybody, this is Eric.
They're
Like,
with a coach who's familiar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're my client here in this
Exactly.
situation, right? And you're like, hey, like Eric's in the class. Like he's one of the new guys. He's going through foundations right now. Make sure you welcome him. Like, say hi, everybody, blah, blah, blah. Right? You start integrating them into the community. Like,
Yeah.
bro, people were there for so long with us.
Yeah.
Back to these core group, because we had such an awesome setup. Like the owner sucked absolute ass and everybody hated him. Like, I mean, I shit you not, like members, like you can hear buttholes pucker the second he walked in the room. Yeah. Like all the farts were being sucked back in because people were like,
Yeah.
don't like him, but God, like Ryan is awesome.
Yeah. The
Eric's
team is
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, oh man.
Yeah. And then, that's tough, man. That's tough. But there's the other side to it where members don't see that.
There's a lot of willful ignorance that I think happens within gyms.
Yeah. They don't see that. They just see, oh, this place is beautiful. It's immaculate. Well, it ain't immaculate. Trust me.
And I think that's okay. Like, I don't think, like, members, in my opinion, should be blissfully unaware
Right.
to the inner workings
Agreed.
and what's happening. And if they do know, like, there's some serious, like, problems going on.
Yeah.
And if coaches are willing to openly talk shit about the place that they're working, their ass needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Like, or, yeah, you know what? Give them a chance. Give them an opportunity to correct that issue.
Yeah.
But if that is still going on, get them out of here.
Yeah.
They don't need to know the inner workings of what's happening. You don't need to know about the like boss relationships or the inter coaches relationships,
Yeah.
right? Like, Eric's a piece of shit. I don't like him. Like,
He is.
nobody needs to hear that come from me.
Yeah.
Because that only sows seeds of doubt and kind of chaos
Agreed.
within the community.
Agreed.
And it becomes fractured. And that is the death of a gym, or especially in a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
If you start having tribes
Yeah.
that are like, I'm Team Ryan, I'm Team Eric,
Yeah.
right? And like that becomes an issue, and that starts spreading. Like rumors they're like, that is a stain
Yeah.
that is hard to get rid of,
Yeah.
and it can easily turn a place away, like burn a place down.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah, definitely off topic
Oh
already.
man. I think off but on.
Yeah, it's there, but
Yeah.
also not.
We're reaching now.
Slightly venting.
Yeah, slightly. If you couldn't tell.
But I mean, regardless, if you're a coach or an owner listening to this, like, I think this is
They are very important.
wildly important.
Yeah, very
stuff
important.
to hear and talk about, because that shit's a cancer, man.
Yeah.
And old Jim, I've told people that we have fired members. We're like, hey, we don't need you here anymore. Well, it's not even like a we don't need you. In reality, that's what it was. But like, you are toxic.
Yeah, we don't need you in the community. We
Yeah.
don't want you to bring down the
Like-
community.
We're radiating that cell,
Yeah.
like trying to get the cancer out, because that shit spreads. Like that like, we at one point we fired, I think, like three or four people plus significant others, like within a week.
Jeez.
And we're like, we're gonna give you your money back for the month.
Yeah.
Like, no problems.
Don't come back.
But you leave today and don't come back here.
Yeah.
If you have any stuff here, grab it now, because
Yeah.
you're not welcome back.
For sure.
And it was a rough point, because they were mad talking shit
Yeah.
after the fact, but everybody in the place was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for getting rid of that, because it put everybody on edge. And the gym should be a happy place, dude. Like, that should be a place where people can go and, like,
You go to relax, not to stress out.
yeah, or de-stress, right? You relax, like, you get to sweat, you get to feel good, like, you get to see some friends that you haven't, you probably see every day or most days of the week, but like, it's an escape from the reality to a certain degree of like what the world is.
Yeah.
And like, if they're going into a place that is causing them more stress in an already fucking stressful world, like, get out of here. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It makes me so mad
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
to see the
toxicity.
fuckery about.
Toxicity is it's not unheard of, but it's rarely spoken about CrossFit gyms. I would say there's a lot of toxicity. Relatively, there is toxicity in CrossFit gyms.
There can be.
There can be. And like you said, it needs to be chopped and severed.
Yeah. You know, I mean, even going into that, like, you know, we started looking at like clicks.
Yeah.
That's and shit that starts happening. Like, obviously, there's going to be, like we talked about earlier, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be certain people that are just going to click really well with each other.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. But when it starts to be, I feel like when it starts to become an issue where now it's like the
Mean Girls?
like a Mean Girls type of scene, then you gotta cut that shit out.
Yeah.
Like, you got to figure out a way to remedy that situation and not necessarily break it up, but reintegrate them back into the community, so that way they're not this other that exists within the gym.
Yeah. Yeah. When your clique starts being an asshole to just spectators or standbyers or people who are just not in your clique,
Yeah.
it's you, not them.
And people feel that shit.
Yeah.
Right. And you think new people are coming in,
Yeah.
and people are like, it's really clicky.
Yep.
That's not a good sign.
It's the first thing that they see.
Yeah.
It's the first thing they see, especially like people who are very much. What were we saying? Clicks.
The kind of toxicity with clicks, and, you know, new people come into the gym and they feel that.
Yeah. So, you know, when new people see that, they want to introduce themselves and they want to be friendly because they're walking into a brand new environment. And when they feel you or see you being standoffish or in the corner and just only hanging out with your group, it's like, I don't want to be a part of that. Like, I'm just trying to say hi to everybody. Like, I'm new here. When in turn, it should be you guys introducing yourselves to the new person.
You got to welcome them in.
Yeah. Like, you have to remember, you and everyone around you who is established in the facility, this is your home. The guest is walking in. You introduce yourself to the guest, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, yes, it's on the coach too, but when you've got 20 people in a building, coach isn't paying attention, somebody's got to take the lead and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so. Come meet this group of people. Like, you know, how long you been doing CrossFit? How long you been here? Oh, you're new. Cool. Welcome. Like,
Yeah.
You know, that's... I feel like this is the perfect transition into client or loyalty.
Member loyalty.
Member loyalty. But like, you know, that's how you grow that tribe in your facility.
Yeah.
You know,
That's how you create loyalty.
yeah, the environment you have to create it. Your members have to help you create it.
People don't remember what you say. They remember how you make them feel.
Yes.
And if somebody brand new is walking into a place and they get the feeling of like unease, unwelcomeness, like that shit's palpable, right? You can feel it. You can don't taste it almost. And that, again, that's a top down thing, man. Like that's the owner not making do with the coaches who's not making do with the members. And that's like, again, it's a top-down thing, right? I very, very rarely do I go straight to the coach being the problem, though there's definitely situations where that's blatantly obvious.
Right.
But it's management, man. And so I think that's when we talk about like member loyalty to a specific gym, it's how you make them feel.
Right.
Like, do they feel welcomed?
Yeah.
And do they feel welcomed by all? That's not just the coaches and the owner, it's the staff or it's the members as well. And that culture is synonymous with all of them. They're all intertwined with each other.
And not only that, that culture paints a picture of what your staff looks like.
Yeah.
Because where did they get it from?
Yeah.
You know, it's God, what is it? Fuck, I had it right in my head and I lost it. God damn it. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Right? Your athletes, your members will give off, if they vibe with the coach, they will give off the same energy as the coach.
Yep.
So if the coach is having a bad day, members are going to have a bad day.
Guess who's having a rough day too?
Yeah. You know, and then if the coach is cocky, members get cocky, right? It's gravitational. Like,
yeah.
And if you have a new person, like, you know, like we're talking about member loyalty, building the member base, no new member is going to come in and be like, oh, you know, let's say you get cocky group. No new member is going to be like, oh, I want to be with that group. Like, no, they check their ego at the door because they don't have one yet.
Yeah.
They're new. Like,
There's no ego to check.
There's no ego to check. They're, if anything, they're scared.
Yeah.
You know? And having a cocky group is not going to make them feel comfortable or welcomed.
No.
Yeah.
Or, you go in and the coach starts shit talking.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's like the gym or coaches.
Yeah.
Right? Makes them kind of like
members.
Or members. Make some passive ass comments.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's, man, it's mind blowing that's a thing, right? It's definitely a thing that exists.
Yeah.
I think it's slowly dying out. I think at this point, a lot of people, but going before I say that, going into like member loyalty, I don't think members owe anybody shit.
I'm with you on that.
They don't owe you anything.
I'm with you on that.
Because they are the customer requesting a service.
Mm-hmm.
They're paying for your services. And if your services aren't up to snuff with what they want, they have every right to leave and go do something else.
Right.
Every right.
Yeah.
And it could be as simple as they don't like it, that they're moving, right?
Yeah.
Perfect, right? There's nothing you could do about that. You're leaving, you got to go. And it can be as complex as they don't like what's happening within it. And people, people have always been doing this, but people are voting and expressing their opinions with their dollar.
Yeah.
And the quickest way to kind of prove a point is to not give them money anymore.
Yeah. Remove that dollar.
And we already know that a lot of CrossFit gyms tend to operate at a very slim margin.
Mm-hmm.
And so that $150, $200 gym membership
It's huge.
is a big hit, right? And it's a lot more expensive and time consuming to bring a new person into the gym and get them integrated and try and get them to stay than to make sure that the ones that are already there, that are already quote unquote loyal, to stay loyal.
Yeah. Hey, well, because not only that, right? The loyal ones who have been there for a while, they're not making your overhead. You gave them beginner rates or founders rates.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. That shit's not helping you at this point. You're
operating. That's a loss.
You got more staff. You got more lights on throughout the day. Like you have to get new equipment. You're not covering that. Like your goal, right, is to build that new member base. And like you said, they don't owe you shit because if they don't like it, they're not going to stay. That's their money at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And again, it goes on how people feel, right? Like, I was at another gym. This is fairly recent. I was at another gym and ran into a member, and I was like, "Whoa!" I'm like, when did you start coming here?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, just joined. And I'm like, why did you leave?
Yeah.
And they're like, and their response was, I just don't like how things are moving.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big fan of some of the new coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And just as a whole, like just kind of like the direction where the gym was going.
Yeah.
If they're feeling that it's getting a little, it's losing the identity that it once had.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, cool. Like, perfect.
I've gotten very similar responses.
Yeah. And I feel it was interesting because they kind of said that in almost like a little bit of a shameful way.
Yeah.
That they left.
Yeah.
And I was like reassuring them. I'm like, you don't owe them anything.
Yeah.
You have every right to come and go as you please. And if it's something that you didn't want to be a part of anymore, don't be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we hold people to some level of standard, some level of loyalty, when you're not even, if they're leaving under like negative reasons, then when you're not even taking into account potentially, or offering the service that you originally intended for them, and it's changing and it's shifting in a way that they don't like.
Yeah.
Like, it's a relationship at the end of the day, right? It's a relationship again because the training space is such a social element that if that like relationship is starting to go sour, just like if you're dating, like you shouldn't be sticking around in a relationship that you don't like with your significant other. You should probably cut that shit short and like move on with your day.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone will likely be a lot happier in that situation.
Yeah.
So if we think about that, like, then the gym member has the exact same rights.
Yeah, there's no difference.
Zero.
No difference. Well, monetary, right?
Yeah. Well, monetary.
Essentially, they're paying for you to love them, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't love them anymore, or if you've changed the way you love them and they don't like the way it is, they're not going to pay you anymore. They're going to leave. Again, they don't know you shit.
I hope I run into them again.
Yeah.
I might actually this weekend, hopefully. But I hope that I'm going to ask them and see if they ever reached out.
Yeah.
Like if the gym that they left reached out to see why. Because I'd be very interested in that. I don't know a lot of places that do exit interviews. I did. I used to do exit interviews with all of my clients, whether it was for good, better, or for worse, because it was time for me to learn something.
Yeah.
Like, if it's like, oh, I'm moving, okay, I may or may not do one.
Yeah.
But if they're leaving, but they're leaving under, whatever reason that they say that's not like a distance related thing, I want to know why.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very interested in why.
Right.
Because odds are it's because of something we did or didn't do.
Yeah.
And how could we possibly make it a better environment, a better place if we have no data to come off of that?
Right.
So I'll keep you updated on that one.
Yeah,
Very
let me know.
intrigued.
Let me know.
I feel like I know the answer, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I could probably tell you that nobody reached out.
Very likely.
Yeah. I mean, very similar with comments that I've got. It's the vibes changed.
Yeah.
It's not what it once was. People are different. That was another one. People are different.
Mm-hmm.
What's that say about the community?
Yeah, man. And it's like there's an evolution to it. Back at Chicago, things. There's a lot of reasons why CrossFit Chicago shut its doors, and it wasn't for anything bad necessarily, but the point being is the gym shifted, and it had to shift because the foundational membership was so strong. The members were strong, physically for the most part, but in the community sense, I mean, it was unlike. There's only one other gym that I've ever seen that has been like that, or that I've been to, and the membership was aging. Right, they've been members for 10 years, which is unbelievable. But they're 10 years starting in their 20s. Now people are getting into their mid late 30s who are having families, and things are settling down.
Right.
And that was what the gym culture was.
Yeah.
And so it had to shift appropriately. And there's not going to be, I don't think most places are going to have this very consistent young population showing up. It's going to be a slow trickle. And so you have to, there's some aspect to you having to make sure that you are meeting the member base where they are, both like mentally, physically, kind of lifestyle wise. You can't keep shoveling the same shit down their throats over and over again.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to work.
No, you'll get negative results.
Yeah. And again, this goes into the place starts to shift.
Yeah.
Right. And again, members feel that.
Yep.
They want what they want. Right. And a CrossFit gym is a stone's throw away from each other at this point.
Yeah.
So in any 5-mile radius, which is a far away,
It's
huge in Los Angeles time, a distance. Like there's
still a half an hour though.
Yeah, it's still like at 45 minutes to go. There's gonna be like 15 gyms within the area, and they're all gonna have their own like feel to them, and people are gonna adjust to it. Like they're gonna find the one that they like.
They're gonna be like, oh, I like this because this reminds me of when I first started at X.
Yeah.
Right. Like
I
like this vibe.
They offer the things that I want.
Yeah.
Or the things that I need.
Yeah.
Right. Or it's clean.
Or if a friend, like let's say you piss somebody off and they have friends, where do you think they're gonna go? Where their friend went because their friend likes the new place.
Yeah. It's the easiest marketing.
Yeah.
The easiest sale that you could possibly have is from a friend.
Yep. Yep.
Like that referral is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I loved when people would be like, "Hey, I got a friend who's interested." Like, fucking, let's go,
dude. I mean,
bring them in.
In my actual job, like I love getting a hey, so and so referred you, and I'm like, fuck yeah, cool. I'm not even done with their project yet, so that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, those are the hottest of hot leads.
Yeah.
Because that breaks like from a sales standpoint. Right. And you know this, so I'm just kind of speaking into the ether a little bit.
Yeah.
But a referral is easily one of the best things you can possibly get because that because there's, if it's you and me, right? And you're like, hey, I'm over at this gym. You should come here. Well, I don't know this gym, but I know you. And I know you well enough to have a gauge on the way that I know you well enough to have a gauge on what you would consider good or bad. And that level of like familiarity that we have is high enough that I go, okay, Eric likes this. I'm probably going to like it.
Yeah.
And my wall is already down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to walk in with a mindset that I'm already going to enjoy this because Eric enjoys this and I enjoy Eric.
And if I'm there with you, it only sells it more.
Because now you're going to likely introduce me to other people that are going to be there and be like, yo, this is my buddy Ryan. Like, hey, this is like Tim and this is Amanda and whatever. And we're like, oh, hey, what's going on? High five. So we work out. And then I was like, oh, Ryan, you should totally join the gym. Like, it was a great time working out with you from like 9 people that I just met today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, this place is awesome.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah.
I'm going there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Versus me walking into a gym, talking to one person that's friendly with me and being like, well, I'm here to do my workout. Versus like, dude, I just had a great time with 9 people, 8 of them are strangers.
Yeah.
I can't wait to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, so like, that was how I felt when I dropped in at CrossFit Chicago, right? Like I signed up for the 5:30 or 6. I can't even remember what class I signed up for. I was trying to find my way in because I Ubered and I was like, where the fuck is this place? And so I walk in and, immediately everyone was friendly. So like I walked in, I had my gym bag and like before I even get to the door, there's a girl walking up. She goes, oh, you coming to CrossFit? I was like, yeah, is this CrossFit Chicago? She's like, yeah, come on in. She was an athlete. She wasn't a coach.
Yeah.
She was just somebody who was just like, she saw me pull up in a cab.
saw you with that 1,000-yard stare being like, where am I?
Yeah. And so she introduced me to the owner,
Rudy.
And Rudy checked me in and Rudy introduced me to the class. They all came up to me and said hi to me. Like you said, that community is so tight and so welcoming. I was just like, yo, this is awesome, right?
It was a place unlike any other.
We're doing a workout, and I'm like dead last, but they're all standing outside the goddamn door cheering me on in the last 400-meter run, and
Waiting
I'm like,
for you to come in.
So embarrassed, but I'm just like, all right, this is cool, whatever.
Yeah,
right.
Shit like that doesn't happen, man.
No, it doesn't.
Stuff like that does not happen anymore.
The culture has changed so drastically. People get done with their workouts. They either go to their clique or they start cleaning up the fucking equipment. And I hate that as a coach. I hate that. Do not clean up your equipment till the last person is done.
Yeah, you wait.
Unless you have to leave and you've expressed you have to leave to me.
Yeah.
Don't clean up shit till the last person is in and done. You all did this together. You all finished together. You all started together. You all finished together. All right? Like, that's just what it is. That's the community that needs to be rebranded or rebuilt. Like, it's not this is all about me. Like, yes, at the end of the day, you're competing with yourself. You want to be better than you were yesterday. But you're involved in a community that started from the ground with you. You can't forget that.
Yeah.
You turn to your right, you turn to your left. They were all in a class with you. Beginners, advanced, they were all there with you. They pushed you, you pushed them. You wait till that fucking class is over to clean your shit.
Yeah. Dude, I've hopped into classes. Well, you and I, right? We've jumped into places all over this country. And some of them do it a little bit, right? There's definitely some of the members who are just way more excited for everybody else.
Yeah.
And some places where like that's just the vibe of the entire gym. But more often than not, because I want to be a gracious guest, that I will try if I finish first, which doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
But if I'm the one that finishes first, I'm definitely like walking around.
Yeah.
I mean, when we did that competition together, both you and I were rooting other people on when we were like,
we walked
done.
to other lanes separately to cheer people on
And rooted people on.
Yeah.
Like without hesitation.
Yeah.
And I think we might have been the only people that did that.
Probably because everybody else either sat in their lane or they were finishing after us, and you could see that the exhaustion, right? I totally get the exhaustion. If you're burning your ass off and you fall on the floor because you finished the last rep, cool, I get it. I'm gonna come over and give you daps. Like, you kicked ass, you did a hell of a job. Congratulations. Let's go, baby. Like, and same, like dropping into a gym. I'm definitely not going to finish first, right? There's definitely beasts higher than me. But when I'm done with my workout, I'm finding the people that are done, and I'm like, hey, good job. Hey, good job.
Yeah.
Hey, good job. If there's someone incoming finishing, you're like, let's go.
Yeah, you're
like,
rooting
finish
them
your
on.
reps. Like, yeah, it's a culture that I would love to see revitalized. I don't see it anymore. and it's upsetting.
Are we the old men yelling at clouds right now?
Probably. Probably. But I'd rather be the old man yelling at clouds rather than the old man sitting on my patio or my porch with a shotgun telling you to go away. Like,
Get off my lawn.
I know I joke about that outside, like, you know, like, because I don't like people, but like in a gym setting, that's not what it's about. It's you got to cheer on everybody. Like, I look at it like this, right? You start the WOD together. You're going into battle together. Like, it's not like, you know, I don't want to make it sound overzealous, but like, you guys are going into battle together. It's the same workout.
Shared suffering.
Shared suffering. You guys are fighting together to finish this shit. If you guys end it together, or you end it together when everyone's done.
Yeah, you're done when the last person finishes.
Exactly. Like, it's not like, yes, cool, congratulations, you finished first. You're a badass, right? Now take that badassery and cheer on second place, and cheer on third place, and cheer on fourth place. Like, you must be the bigger person. If you are somebody that, whether you know it or not, people look up to because of how well you perform, you have to perform as a human being at that level.
Yeah.
You can't just walk around with your fucking chest puffed out and fucking jacked arms, just swaying and waiting for people to come to you to give you high fives like you're some fucking god. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit because there's someone better than you. You haven't met them yet, but there's someone better than you. Yeah. And they will not treat you like that. Or hopefully
they shouldn't.
They won't treat you like that.
Yeah.
Right? And God, I just miss that culture where
it's
everybody cheered for everybody. Yeah, we fucking lost Pukey the Clown for Ego Clown or whatever we want to call him now. It's just like, God damn it, man.
Members don't owe the gym shit.
Right. Ever.
Really ever.
Ever.
Right. And yeah, it's loyalty only goes so far outside of a comfort zone or out of needs and wants before it's just over.
Yeah.
And people move on. And that's okay. Like, I think it's important to note that that's okay.
Yeah.
And
change.
Yeah, it's change. And change is going to happen. People are going to grow out of situations or gyms. And, you know, this like nostalgia that exists. Like, I've heard so many people say, they're like, I talked to some people last week or over the weekend, and I was like, you're still there?
Yeah.
I'm like, why? And all, like, 3 of the group that said that was like, it's convenient at this point. Like, it's just it's the best thing.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, that was the extent of it.
Yeah.
I had a point to make, but I don't remember what it was. So just imagine in your eyes, in your mind and soul, that it was a really great point that was going to just hit home like no one's business.
Well, it sounds right. It sounds like, you know, like it's just convenient. It's kind of like they've given up. They've given up on wherever they're at is going to get better, because it hasn't. They're just like, you know what, I'm just here because I've already have a membership. It's already cycled monthly.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Right?
Settled.
They settled. And that's not good. Like, you don't want your client base to settle.
You don't want your clients to be apathetic about the experience that they're having.
You never want to hear, well, it's convenient. No, you want to hear, because I love it. Because Coach A, B, and C treat me really well. They teach me new things. I'm learning, you know, like, management is good. They're involved. You know, they you know, the gym is clean. Like, the facility has, you know, good equipment, usable equipment, right? It doesn't have to be new, just usable equipment. Like, but you want to hear members brag about your location on the quality of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, you could have $1 million facility and have a shit team. Great.
True.
Great. Now what?
Well, it's like, that's shit like what Ryan Fisher always talks, like, he talks about with his, like, apparently, I don't know if this happens anymore, but I remember him talking about how he'll, like, burn through coaches because he holds them to such a high standard that he's like, you get a chance. He's like, and if you fuck it up, you're done. Because I demand a certain aspect to, or demand a certain way to how you're supposed to treat my members, how you're supposed to, you know, function through in the gym, how you're supposed to coach, like, within reason, obviously. But if you're not going to fit the culture and fit the, you know, the ideals behind the gym, get out.
Yeah.
Right. We don't need you to be here if it's not going to be something that you're going to enjoy in the same way. And and that sounds really cocky. And to a certain degree, it very much is. But it's also knowing what you want out of the staff.
Right.
And and what you want the gym to look like. At some point in time, I'm going to have to hire somebody to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what I want. Like, I know the ideals of the person that I want to be working with us, that the way that they're going to be, the way that they're going to interact with clients in the same, not necessarily the same, but a similar passion in the way that I work with my clients and I treat them. We're going to be different personalities. They're going to attract different people because there's no way that they're going to be a carbon copy of me, and probably in a good way, they probably shouldn't be.
Right. Yeah.
But like the skills aspect of like being able to teach and coach and train, that can be taught. But personality is not always a thing that is going to be easily adjustable.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what I heard somebody talk about the during an interview, if you feel like this is somebody that you would want to go grab a beer with, is a good indicator of if it's somebody that you're going to enjoy working with. I mean, beer, coffee,
right.
wine, a walk,
you
whatever.
You wouldn't mind spending out of office hours with them.
Yeah. Right. Because there's got to be some cohesion within the way that everybody works together. But anyway, I think that's something that I think Ryan Fisher is doing or attempting to do at Chalk. And obviously it's working because that gym is like wild.
But I also think that's important to note that leadership, that management is taking care of his members.
He leads by example.
Exactly. He knows what he wants for his members, what he wants for his community. And again, like, you don't fit. Sometimes it's not on you.
Yeah.
You're just not fitting in with the rest of what's going on here.
No hard feelings.
Yeah. And he's right to say, I hold my coaches to a higher standard. Everyone should. You're a member, you should hold your coaches to a higher standard. You're an owner, you should hold your coaches to a higher standard. Coaches, you have one shot.
Do not miss your chance to blow.
Thank you very much.
Because this opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
I mean, for Ryan Fisher, probably.
Maybe.
To work for Ryan Fisher, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might literally only have one shot with him.
With him is just one shot. Yeah. But no, like, you need to hold yourself to the highest standard. If you think you are a great coach, hold yourself as a great coach. Now, that's not to say be an egotistical coach.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be like, I'm the best coach because I blah, blah, blah. I have 14 levels. I have blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. It's how you train the members and how you hold yourself respectfully is what I care about. You can't do that. I don't give a fuck how many certs you have. I don't give a fuck how many professional athletes you train. You're not touching one of my athletes.
GTFO,
yeah.
noob.
Yeah. That sensor, get the fuck out of here. In case you didn't know. Very passionate right now.
Apparently.
Yeah.
We somehow struck a nerve with ourselves.
Oh, God.
I don't know how we did that, but
it always seems to be like on something that this specific topic.
This general topic.
Yeah. No, not general, specific. Specificity.
Was there any other loyalty parts?
I wanted to talk about athlete coach loyalty.
Like a
So not like a personal
client.
trainer kind of thing, but like, I know you've seen it. I know I've seen it. Classes will flock to specific coaches. Members will flock to specific coaches.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think that is natural.
Yeah.
Because honestly, with everything that we've talked about, right? We have people are going to click with certain people, and assuming it's not people will just click with certain people.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to have their favorite coach, right? The one that they kind of get along with the best, the one that feeds them the information that they want, or, whatever the case may be. I largely think a lot of it comes down to personality, not even skill.
Right.
You get a terrible coach, but have a great personality and people really like them, and so they want to go to their classes.
Right, right.
So I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. I know at my previous gym, we tried to not discourage it, but try and get people to go to other coaches' classes because we all kind of had different things to offer.
Right.
in kind of what our general focus on how we go about stuff.
Right.
I was always like, we had the weightlifting person, we had the competitor person, we had like the more technical person, which was me for the most part, or like kind of the hard-headed smack talking one, right? And so people.
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
Because you're the only person in this room. I have nobody else to look at and I haven't looked at that pizza box
Why
yet.
not?
So why?
Maybe they're hard-headed.
Because I'm staring deep into your eyes. So I think there's going to be these different like, attractions to certain coaches and staff, and I don't know if that's a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just something to note, like that's exactly what happens is athletes pick their coach.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, and that's not a bad thing. Like I definitely want athletes to go check out other coaches. Like but it's hard, right? I only coach in the mornings. So I got my regulars, whether they like me or not. But there's sometimes like, who coaches Monday? It's like, oh, it's so-and-so. Have you ever been to his class? No. I kind of like your class. I'm like, this coach, they're not to say I don't have energy, but they have a little more liveliness. Sometimes they give different critiques than I do, so don't be afraid to check out their class. Or, hey, have you checked out so-and-so's class in the afternoon? I know you're kind of switching, here's who coaches Mondays and Tuesdays, here's who coaches Wednesdays and Thursdays. This is kind of their style, but you should go check it out for yourself, right? And then I have an only coach in my gym, and I always tell people who are kind of struggling with the lifts, I'm like, look, I can teach it to you, but if you really want to get technical and the nitty gritty, I have coach over here who has been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And they're somebody I trust with teaching you the technical aspect of it. I think you should go check them out. Like you said, we coaches have different things to offer, different ways to offer it. And as a member, you're doing yourself a disservice by only picking one. Now, that's not to say if you're stuck, like if you have a routine, like you need to get up in the morning, you need to go to the gym so you can go to work later, fine, totally get it. But don't be upset or don't be surprised when that coach needs to take a day off and you get somebody else and you're like, ugh, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to happen. It's something you should learn to deal with, learning from another coach, because you're not always going to have coach A.
Yeah. It's another pair of eyes too.
Yeah.
Right? Like you and I, we know pretty much the same things.
Yeah.
But your eye might be attuned to something ever so slightly different than mine, say when we're talking about lifting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you might pick something up that I just don't catch, but I might pick something up that you don't catch. And so now if somehow, client A member A has managed to come to both of our classes, well, they got two different points of performance that need to be worked on.
Yeah.
That will make them better. Another pair of eyes is never a bad thing.
No.
I think one of the issues and the bad things that can come into that is what you just talked about referring to other people, and kind of what I referenced earlier, is that's a positive sign of a lack of ego, or just an understanding of where you sit in the world of training and coaching, and
right.
You're confident in what you got and feel confident enough within yourself to be able to refer out. And within the coaching world, I think it's way too common to see the ego in that I know everything.
Yeah.
That I am the one, I am the ultimate expert, the Highlander of coaches. Right? There can only be one.
Yeah.
There can be only one.
Yeah.
And I think that is a common thing that can sometimes happen when you start getting a lot of regulars that kind of boosts your ego. I coach noons. Like that's like the class that I, for some reason, seem to always coach.
Yeah.
Like wherever I go. I don't know why, but whatever. And so the people who come to noon are the people that I always joke that don't have the real jobs. Right? They don't have like the 9 to 5s.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll kind of forcibly see the same people over and over again. So I kind of have to make it a good time and have to make them like me. So that way it's not a drag every single time.
Right.
But sometimes you become the favorite coach purely by convenience or based off of like schedule.
Yeah. Which is why we're saying it's harder, or it's not a bad thing that members will flock to a certain coach. Sometimes it's just purely convenience.
Yeah. I think Do you have anything else that you wanted to add on that point?
I no, honestly, I think that's it. I think coaches, you should know, like, these people, these members look up to you. You gotta always be on your game, always. Even if you're having a bad day, you got a 4:30 class, your boss is an asshole to you at 4:00. Man, at 4:25, that better be stuck in your car. You better splash some water on your face because
hold on,
these 20 people are looking up to you.
Already an issue.
What?
If it's 4:25 and you're in your car for a 4:30
okay,
class,
that's true.
We got some goddamn problems.
That's true too. I didn't want to stop at 4:20.
Well, I don't, even 10 minutes. What are you doing showing up 10 minutes before class?
Man, it happens.
I know it happens.
Yeah.
It's not right.
It's not.
It's bullshit.
Right.
That's late.
Right.
I
don't. I'm 15 to 30 minutes early.
Minimum.
Yeah.
You have to be the first person there.
I typically am.
No, not I'm not saying you specifically.
Yes, coaches.
Global you.
Yes.
Global you got to be there ahead of time.
You got to have a warm up ready.
You got
to have every I'm
just gonna leave it there. Be early.
Be early, not on time. The athletes can be on time. You got to be early.
If you are on time, you're late.
Yes.
That is my rule of thumb.
If you're early, you're on time.
Yep.
Oh man, I've implemented the burpee rule.
Oh, you were allowed to do that.
I don't give a fuck if I am or not.
I love that.
I out of respect for myself, at 31, you're on time. I'll give it to you. At 31, you're on time. At 32, it's 5.
Yeah.
33, it's 10. 34, it's 15.
There you go.
People think I'm playing. I'm like, we will wait till you do it.
Oh,
I've had to do that. I did that last week. I said, we will wait till you do it.
Oh, don't make the rest of the class suffer.
They're doing their warm up.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. But I will literally sit there and be like, I'm waiting. Give me my 10.
We used to at my old gym, we used to do that. It was, I think, up to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And anything after that, you weren't allowed to join class.
That's a good rule too, because at that point you've wasted, because my warm-ups are typically 7 minutes of movement.
You should likely be almost done with the warm-up at that point in time, and then it becomes a liability.
Yeah.
It becomes a safety issue.
I agree. I had one athlete do that to me at the previous all the time, and I tried to stop it, and it was like, they're paying. I'm like, yeah, but they're late.
Yeah.
They're 10 minutes late. What am I supposed to do? Nothing. Well then.
There's a lot to be said, right? Like I've heard decent arguments against the idea of punishing a member for being late. Yeah, I've heard good arguments for.
Yeah.
And I tend to lie on the side of, the punishment is there as kind of a deterrent.
Yeah.
Ideally more than anything.
It's not to embarrass you. It's to make sure, if it's a burpee, it's a full body warm up, right? If I don't have, if it's a barbell movement, obviously I'm going to warm you up for the barbell. But I want your heart rate moving. I want your lungs moving. I want your full body moving. I want you to be able to move every piece of your body, right? But I'm not going to sit there while my class is 3 minutes into their 7-minute warm up to explain to you what you have to do. You're wasting their time. You're wasting my time. You're not showing up. You're not being respectful, to me or the other members that are here with you who made the time to get up to be here on time. It's just all around disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's a deterrent to not be disrespectful.
I agree. I think that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
I remember the first time that somebody showed up past that point, that cutoff point, and I was like, can't join class.
Yeah.
And they were like, are you serious? They got mad.
Yeah.
And understandably so.
Right,
I can't fault them for that.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, this is the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows the rule. It's literally written right there.
Yeah.
You see it every single time you come to class. You see people do a burpee every time. And it got to a point, I think with that, and as people started to realize the rationale behind it, is that it's not purposefully trying to be a dick.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's a respect thing for everybody.
Yeah.
And eventually got to a point where I would see people running in.
Yeah.
Right? They're running in with their shoes off. And they would run in and be like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And they'll look at the clock. They're like, I'll do my burpees. And most of those people, I was like, don't stress it.
Yeah.
Like, just get your shoes on and
Let's
just
go.
hop in.
Yeah.
Right. Because they showed the idea of like, I tried it. I could see the franticness in their eyes. Where they're like,
Yes.
I tried to get here, but I couldn't make it on time.
Yes.
And it's like, perfect. I know. Like, I know you and you're good.
Yeah.
Like, you tried your best and
Yeah.
shit happens. Sometimes you just catch every single red light, like for whatever reason.
It's just one of those bad days.
It happens.
Yeah.
But it's like the effect that it had on you to know like, oh shit, I'm late to class. I'm late to Ryan's class, like, or just the class in general, not even mine.
Yeah.
Like take myself out of the equation here. That meant enough. It meant enough to you that you didn't want to be late.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to me to be like, don't stress it, my dude.
Yeah.
You're good. Like,
Yeah.
come in.
I when I first implemented it, it would be 6:31, and I'd see people walk because we have a window. I'd see people walk, and I'd yell out the window or out the door. I'd be like, "You have less than 30 seconds to get in here." And some of them would they'd see me looking at it, they'd run. They'd run to the door.
Just giving them the eyes.
Yeah, and so it'd be like 6:32, and they're like, "Oh, I'm here." I'm like, "Cool, let's warm up." Yeah. I had one walk by the window, 6:31, 6:32, 6:33.
A sweet ass time.
Walked in, put their stuff down, strolled to a square, and I was like, "Cool, 10 burpees." They're like, "Oh, you were serious?" I was like, "As a heart attack, my dude, 10 burpees."
Yes, sir.
They haven't been late since.
Dude, it's little shit like that, man, because it disrupts the class.
Yeah.
It disrupts the class so
And then
more than people think.
And then when you walk in nonchalant, knowing you're late, it pisses me off.
Yeah, show a little bit of humility, if you will.
Yeah.
Is that the word that we want?
Yeah. Okay, you're late. I see you walk in, you run from putting your stuff down to the square, I'll be a little more lenient.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna walk you're just gonna strut to your square and you'll be like, I pay to be here. It's like, cool, so do the rest of the people.
Yeah.
And they showed up on time. 10 burpees.
You ain't that special.
Right.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
It is.
Sometimes it works
is.
and sometimes it can wildly backfire.
I'm waiting for that.
I feel I've only seen it happen once.
Yeah.
And off of hundreds of classes that I coached
Mhm.
at the specific location.
It's less than 1% at this point.
I mean, it's significantly less than 1%.
Yeah.
Like I've had one that I could remember that
Yeah.
turned into a deal where I had to walk off to the side with this person and be like, hey, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Take a breath. I got you. We'll figure this out.
Yeah.
But do your burpees.
Yeah.
Do your shit. And I'm like, we're good. I'll warm you up. You're going to be good. You can still join class.
Yeah.
It just sucks that you have to do 30 of them right now.
Yeah. I don't know, man. After 10 minutes, that's it. You're not coming to this class.
Well, 30 is 6 minutes late.
Oh, yeah, math hard.
Numbers no good.
Math hard.
But yeah, it was that 35 was the cutoff point.
Yeah.
So if you were inching towards 35,
7 minutes.
adios, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, because like you said, by that you should be done with your warm up.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is.
Like I said, it's distracting.
Yeah.
And I think it's more distracting than people think.
Yeah.
Because you start getting from the coach's side, you start getting into the groove. You're kind of, you've chatted people up. You start talking, well, whatever. They start coming in. You start warming them up, coaching, right? You're in the flow.
Yep.
And now somebody from outside is coming in, and that kind of generally, it doesn't necessarily overtly distract the members too much.
Mm-hmm.
They might give you some shit, but generally it's okay. But from the coach's side, it really kind of throws you through a loop, because now you're like, okay, I got somebody brand new, new coming in.
Yeah.
Just new to class. And I got to get them warm. I got to make sure they got all this stuff. I have to go through and now re-explain what the workout's going to be or how we're going to work today. There's so many other points of you missed a lot
Yeah.
in only a couple minutes. And that's a vital piece.
Yeah.
I always used the beginning of my stuff, if it's not something that's say a pre-planned warm up, when I'm talking to people when they're coming in, I go, how you feeling? Aches, pains,
Yeah.
are you sore? What's going on? Kind of take this little little mental checklist in my head. I'm like, all right, I know Kevin over here is sore, like in his back from doing some of these things. You know, Nick over here can't, like, his ankles are tight. So, you know, when we're squatting today, right? So I'm like taking this into account as I'm like thinking about, you know, if I need to adjust my warm up in some way to kind of account for the people that are in the class.
Right.
Now, kind of an unknown has just, you know, like a wild Pokemon just showed up in the tall grass.
That's exactly what went through my head right now.
And so I'm like, what's it going to be? What's the
what's
roulette?
coming out of the bush?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's little shit like that goes through my mind where I'm like, okay, now I have to try and like coach the class while also get information out of them, while also then get them up to speed to meet everybody where they're at. So that way we can like eventually start class, right? And eventually it all folds back together.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, cohesive again. But that like brief moment, I'm like, damn it.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating because you're like, I have this plan and I have a backup plan. I don't want to go to my backup plan because then my backup plan has a pocket that I got to dig in to reach out and fix whatever the backup plan needed. And it's just like, I would have rather just done plan A the whole time.
Yeah.
Plan A would have worked if you showed up on time.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that pisses me off. Well, it pissed me off in general, but they showed up late. And as I'm explaining the warm-up, they walk across in front of me, in front of the athletes, grab a barbell, make noise, and then walk back in front of me while I'm still trying. And I stopped and I watch them walk all the way back to their square. Yeah.
You just give them that stare.
I just give them the stare and I walk them with my eyes and I'm like,
you motherfucker.
Are you ready? I'm sorry. Are you ready? Can I continue? Cool.
There's something so powerful about being able to do that. Like when like everybody in the room knows that this person's being a little bit of an asshole right now. And then you're up there you just kind of stop and just stare. And like that tension in the room feels so good sometimes when you're like,
I think I do it too well.
I could see that.
I think it could potentially backfire on me if I don't calm it.
I feel like you're pretty good at being able to like create tension.
Yeah.
And then
dismiss it.
Ease it with like a joke or like a friendly jab.
I do. Yeah, I can. But there are some who I'm just like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, he just rubs you the wrong way. And you're like,
I was like, you're late.
Like you're making it so hard for me.
All this noise and I fucking hate you.
Like you're making it really hard for me to like make this good.
Yeah.
Like please work with me.
I want to end this on a smile. But the only smile I get is from insulting them.
But making you look like a douche.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm only partially kidding.
Well, you know, everyone's going to have their frustrations, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be the moments where you're just like, come on. Like,
yeah.
Seriously, you're going to do this right now?
I mean, I've told them like, oh, little faster. There we go.
Yeah. Right. And it's like you said, or like I was saying, right? There's ways to say stuff in a matter of fact way. No, not a matter of fact way, but in a way that gets your point across that you're like, I'm upset.
Yeah.
But like it's funny.
Yes.
Right. So
as long as the remaining members feel you're easing the tension, because you're like, all right, cool, it's passed.
Yeah.
Let me make a little joke. Everybody laughs.
Yeah. Cool. Everyone gives a little chuckle, and they're like, all right, cool.
All right, cool.
Shit's done. Moving on. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. I think that eases everybody out of that whole tense situation.
You got it, man. You got to push them a little bit and then pull them back in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anything else or any other?
No, I think we hit the nail on the head with that one.
To be totally honest, I feel like we detracted aggressively from topic at hand.
Again,
just started venting.
Again, this is like, if you look at all of our series, right? Anything that has to do with relation to coaching, you and I get fired up.
True.
We fire ourselves up because we're passionate about it. Like for you, it's your career. For me, it's a hobby, but it's something I'm fully vested in as a hobby. Like I don't want to half-ass this because I love it so much.
Whole ass, baby.
A whole ass. We say this all the time. Don't do anything half-ass. You do it whole ass, both cheeks.
Damn it. I was about to say both cheeks, baby.
But yeah, so it's like that this is what we love. Like that's just, we get fired up over it.
Eric, where can people find us?
You guys can find us at our Instagram at Another Period Rep Period Podcast, and you can email us at anotherreppodcast@gmail.com, and you can shoot us over a text or a voicemail at our phone number, which is 530 podcast
PODCAST.
T. I don't
Not
the
two
actual,
T's, just one T.
Just one T. I don't know the actual numbers. I haven't memorized them yet, but it's podcast. So if you have a rotary phone, you're fucked.
Yes.
You might be.
There's letters on rotary phones, aren't there?
Well, if you have a rotary phone, you're still fucked because, goddamn, what are you doing with a rotary phone?
Hey, man, vintage.
Oh.
It's coming
Speaking
back.
of, there's one over there.
Oh, yes. Hook it up.
Yeah.
Dude, I would get a landline just to have a
Just to
rotary
have
phone.
a rotary phone.
But I want one of the like the wall ones.
Oh, yeah.
Not one of those.
Well, that guy still spins. Still does the
Yeah, but I want like one on the
old-timey
wall.
ones.
I want like a wall phone
Get you like that.
where it's got like a 19-foot cable, like
Oh my god.
like squiggly
Yeah,
cable.
Yeah.
So you can like walk through a door and close it and still.
And twirl it in your finger.
Yeah, you can sit there and twirl in your fingers. That's what I want. Anyway, and you can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as the YouTubes
Yes.
at Another Rep Podcast.
At youtube.com?
At YouTube. No,
Or just at YouTube.
it's just YouTube and search Another Rep Podcast and
Yeah.
you'll find it.
Yeah. You guys will find us.
It's there. Hey, bye.
Bye.